From the Coronetto trilogy.
I want to see a coronet joint.
Washington, D.C. Zing! Take that!
Staten Island, take that, Burrow.
Bringing authenticity to Renfests.
Like the medieval orchestra is drunk on grog.
It's only a model.
Near the end of the period we call medieval times,
The Trump
people of
years.
Europe were establishing a new pattern of living.
Famine and disease.
For many
Called
centuries
oppression.
before, they had lived in communities which centered about the great stone castles of noblemen.
Now it's an Airbnb.
The castle was the center of a community called a manor.
Manor what?
In a matter of speaking.
Most of the people who lived on the manor were serfs, like the boy Otto.
Played by Tom Hanks.
The serfs raised livestock and crops on the nobleman's land.
And had their way with them.
Is that Assassin's Creed?
They also made their own clothing.
Obviously.
Early
The
cosplay.
serfs took their orders from an overseer called the Seneschal,
Or
who
capo.
took his orders from the nobleman.
Who took his orders from Hydra.
The deep moat and sturdy walls of the nobleman's castle safeguarded the serfs in time of danger.
Except for
So,
this
the
easily
manor was
accessible
a world in
bridge.
itself. But this way of life slowly changed as the people of the manor began to venture outside the walls to trade with the people of towns nearby.
Spreading the plague even further.
One morning,
But you're not going to mention my new scarf hat that I made. You're not going to say anything. Okay.
the Seneschal would meet Otto at the shoemaker's shop at midday.
Seneschal at the shoemaker?
The
Sensational!
main road, he warned. And no daydreaming.
And don't ride the cow.
Honestly, I thought this was a good look. So judgmental.
Otto thought himself very lucky.
He made it to age 14.
He had a girlfriend he could show off to everybody.
Spend in the town, and there would be much to see.
Like jousting?
Looking at things was the television of its day.
The first sight was the town gate and walls, which were actually the town limits.
Oh man, this town is already off the hook.
Even at this early hour, people were bringing food and supplies to the townsfolk.
Amazon boxes were everywhere.
Before anyone could pass through, he must identify himself and state his business to the town tax collector.
Just to wet his
The
beak.
town had to be guarded against thieves. But this man was simply a peddler of pottery who would make a good profit selling his wares. For this privilege, there was a tax that the peddler would have to pay.
The peddler of pottery profited off the peasants in the pellet with the poison.
The town and its people lived on trade.
14.
And most everyone who passed within its walls must pay a toll of honest money.
Something Trump has never heard of.
The money collected from those selling their wares was used to support the town government. A close count was kept of the people who passed through.
Early Excel spreadsheet.
Almost all the necessities of daily living were brought into the town. Goods were searched to see that nothing was smuggled in to avoid paying a toll.
I don't like having my goods searched.
Easy Pass had yet to be invented.
The entire population was 20. A boy and his cow.
Oh, that cow's got a sweet ass.
Otto paid the toll with a coin the Seneschal had given him. For like all serfs, Otto had no money of his own.
He lost it all on crypto.
Surf Nazis must die.
Morning rush hour.
As he passed through the gate, Otto was in the town square.
Now it's all hipster housing.
This was the heart of the town. Townspeople gathered here to buy and sell, to barter, to gossip.
To wash their clothes in the drinking water.
Since the townspeople lived by making and trading things rather than by farming,
I got a drink out of there, you
they
know.
had to buy just about everything they used.
Unlike today.
They also bought most of the food they ate. The sausages being sold by this vendor were prepared from meat raised on nearby farms.
Troll farms were also there to generate online hate speech.
Besides being used in trade, money also helped to support the good works of churchmen.
Not this guy.
Every town had its church, for religion was an important part of medieval life.
It put the evil in medieval.
Otto was to meet the butcher in the square and get the money for the cow.
And his cut.
And here was the butcher right on time.
How could they tell? No one had a clock.
Hey, Marty, when are you going to get married?
He has to kick the tires.
He paid Otto, warning him not to lose the money.
On crypto.
Now, could the butcher direct Otto to the shoemaker's shop? Yes, in fact, the shoemaker's apprentice, Hans, was over
Right
there
next
at
to the
town
leather
well.
mug shop.
Otto could ask him the way to his master's
Cow knows
shop.
where he's going.
Hans, who was fetching water for his master's wife, said he'd be glad to have Otto walk with him back to the shop.
As long as they socially distance.
Otto explained that he had money to pay for shoes for his nobleman.
Someone must have coughed on his hat.
Drawing water was only one of the many jobs Hans did as an apprentice.
Very
He
different
also
from the
ran
TV show.
errands and made deliveries.
And wet work.
So he was very familiar with the narrow streets of the town.
He loved working at the cab stand for Paulie's brother.
This was the street of the cloth weavers.
And the Doodles Weavers.
The town buildings were crowded closely together. Living space was valuable.
Like
So
New York
most of
City,
the
am I
people
right,
lived
guys?
on the upper floors, above their shops.
They still blamed traffic when they were late for work.
This was the shop of the famous Carl the Weaver.
So 5 people had heard of it.
Carl was one of the officers of the Weavers' Guild.
I hear you paint houses, Carl.
A guild was a kind of trade association, and each member of the guild displayed a sign outside his shop which identified his craft.
The Rebel Alliance.
A picture sign, since few people were able to read. That was how you found your way through the town.
Or used GPS.
You watched for the guild signs, and you knew whether you were on the street of the cloth weavers,
Weavestown.
Oh, industrial arts.
the street of the roof makers,
I don't understand roof makers. They're over my head.
the street of the blacksmiths,
That's the cool street.
the street of the candle makers,
That neighborhood is on fire.
or the street of the shoemakers.
Or upside down hats.
Now zoom out. What is the director,
This street stood the
Kubrick
home
now?
Workshop of Hermann the shoemaker.
And bookmaker.
Uh-oh, there was Johanna, Hermann's wife. Where had Hans been? Gossiping in the square? Never had she seen a lazier apprentice.
Droppo, you are the laziest apprentice on Mars.
Now he'd better come up before he got the beating he deserved. With Johanna so angry, it might be best for Otto to wait outside. That was all right with Otto. He had the bread and cheese he'd brought along to eat. But he certainly hoped that Hans wouldn't be beaten on his account.
Good entertainment,
Now
though.
he'd wait for the Seneschal to meet him here. No sooner had Hans come into the common room, which was parlor, dining room, and kitchen all in one, than Johanna told him he had missed breakfast. But if he worked hard, he might have some of the soup she was making for the midday meal.
What a
It
conundrum.
was a rich mutton soup, flavored with plenty of spices.
And parasites.
Many of these spices came from eastern lands.
New Jersey?
Hermann the shoemaker finished his breakfast quickly.
No, it's Abe Lincoln.
The Seneschal would be coming soon to pick up the new shoes for the nobleman.
And there was a Manfred
Hans
Mann
went to sew
rehearsal
on
at
the
noon.
buttons.
Hey, you didn't finish your turd sausage.
They'd best get downstairs to the shop.
Quiet desperation wasn't going to make itself.
When Hermann and Hans came into the shop, they found Rolf, the journeyman, already hard at work.
Brown nose.
As a journeyman, Rolf was a skilled craftsman who received wages.
Before
He
He-Man
was an
went
expert
blonde.
shoemaker, well acquainted with the tools and materials of his craft. He could cut a leather pattern in moments and fit the parts together over a wooden form called a last to make a fine shoe.
Like this job, his last.
Rolf would
Unfortunately,
become
he's a
master
hat
shoemaker
maker.
like Hermann, once he had saved enough money to open a shop of his own.
Forcing Herman out of business.
Hans was good at his work, but Hermann knew the boy had a lot
Never
more
understood
to
the
learn
chin
before he
strap.
might even think of becoming a journeyman. Right now, Hans was simply an apprentice, an unpaid helper, learning a craft from a master and helping out in the master's household in exchange for room, board, and instruction.
But no health plan.
You don't need a salary. It's good exposure. Take my word for
It
it.
might be 10 years before Hans ended his apprenticeship
Or
by
in his
making
life.
a master's piece that would show the guild masters all he had learned about the craft of shoemaking.
Basically, he's a journeyman open micer.
They might even be shoes like these. Hermann and the other craftsmen of the guild would examine the work, and if they approved the quality, they would make Hans a journeyman.
Oh, happy day.
Hermann was a good master who had instructed many apprentices.
When is somebody going to invent
The guild
mustaches?
must have the final say as to whether a boy was skilled enough to be called a journeyman.
Then the residuals kick in.
Ah, here was the guild warden, or inspector, who came regularly to the shop.
Friggin' narc.
The warden saw to it that all masters followed the guild rules. These rules set the number of hours journeymen and apprentices worked, and set high standards of workmanship and quality.
They were the Criterion collection of shoes.
Yes, Rolf's work was well up to the standards set by the guild for journeymen.
He's going to get made.
The warden even checked on the quality of work done by apprentices.
Which also led to multiple beatings.
This matter of quality was of great importance to the guild and its members.
Quality of life, not so much. No, I wouldn't piss in this shoe.
Quality was important to men like this merchant, who sold shoes in the great marketplaces of Europe.
During the Clone Wars.
He had to be assured of honest work and quality, or else he would take his business to craftsmen in other towns.
Yep, that's right. Unpaid labor counted as honest work.
When he could expect several dozen slippers he had ordered.
You have to talk to customer service.
Hermann was happy to say they would be ready in a few days, long before the merchant ship was to sail.
It wasn't true, but he was happy to say it.
Oh, yes. Things were going well in the workshop of Hermann the shoemaker.
As good as it gets.
Was this another customer? No, it was a serf. Otto was still waiting for the Seneschal. Hermann invited him inside.
And he was never seen again.
Never before had Otto seen a master's shop. And, of course, there was Hans, his new friend.
His only friend.
And domestic abuse victim.
Hans had finished his work with much skill. Weren't they beautiful? How soft the leather was.
So sensual.
How handsome the buckles. Truly, these were a nobleman's shoes.
A man would be proud to step in shit wearing these.
Ah, the Seneschal.
Don Draper.
Were the nobleman's shoes ready? They had just been finished. The Seneschal was pleased.
That no one mentioned his stupid hat.
Where was the money the butcher had given Otto?
Just a moment, it's on my dick.
This is Canadian.
Yes, it was good money, which Hermann accepted for the shoes.
Now he tried to sell him a warranty.
These are both lefts.
The nobleman was sure to like his new shoes, and the Seneschal would soon return with another order.
The economy is saved.
Otto hoped he might come along then to visit Hans, his new friend, at the shop of the shoemaker.
Was there sun in the medieval times?
Oh, the drunk music is back.
And he'd also see the other workshops of the town's many guild craftsmen.
The Writers' Guild, the Screen Actors Guild, and the all-powerful IATSE.
And the interesting sights in the town square.
Interesting sights not pictured.
Though Otto didn't know it, this town was only one of hundreds established in Europe during medieval times.
And the only one without a medieval times restaurant, which sucked.
Goods were produced and traded in many such towns. The towns usually grew up wherever main roads met.
So Portland and one on the East Coast.
Wherever navigable rivers flowed.
Kurtz was close now. I could feel him.
Wherever there was a natural ocean port. There were towns everywhere. In Flanders.
Oakley dokley.
In Germany.
Oh, that turned out great.
In France.
Where heavy sauces and new wave filmmaking were traded.
At the Cork and Cleaver.
As trade among nations and peoples increased.
Rough trade.
Very slowly, the old way of life, which had centered about the manor, disappeared. And a new way of life, based on trade and learning, took root. in the medieval town.
Organized crime.
So nice. I'm glad nothing nasty or negative was ever associated with the word medieval. It was all just a totally chill thing happening.
And everyone lived happily and plague-filled ever after.
Huzzah? I guess?
Hey, where was Puke and Snot?